What if I told you America's only park south of the equator sees just 6,000 visitors a year versus hundreds of millions for the big names? Today we're ditching the big crowds and exploring 10 island and coastal gems that you've probably never heard of. By the end of this video, you could have a new bucket list with dream destinations and adventures you can't find at the big name parks. Welcome back to American Travel Fun. I'm Chuck, your host. Here we talk about traveling in America and having fun doing it. Otherwise, what the hell's the point? Now, on with the show. And starting with number one, we have the National Park of America Samoa. Thousands of miles southwest of Hawaii, this is the only U.S. national park located south of the equator. And yes, only 6,000 visitors come here each year. This is completely secluded. This is our place for anybody who truly wants to get away. Spread across 3 volcanic islands, this park mixes dramatic mountain backdrops with crystal clear coastal waters and a deep-rooted Polynesian culture that is still alive and well today. And you can actually experience it. You can dive into the Samoan life and culture by staying in an open-air fail home and get a front row seat in some traditional island living. You can share in an aba ceremony, help cook in earth ovens, and listen to stories from the village elders under the palm trees. And yeah, that last pick of the fail home is AI generated because if you notice, the first 2 weren't really all that great, and those are the only actual ones I could find, so I tried recreating it just so you guys could see a little bit better representation of what it was or what it looks like. It's not exact, but it is pretty decent, I think. And some other things that you can do and see here would be see the flying foxes, more commonly known as fruit bats, in the rainforest. Here you can wander through the lush mountain rainforest, where massive fruit bats that have a wingspan of about 3 feet hang upside down like lanterns, with tropical birds that fly around and canopy above. Or, maybe you don't want to fly around and look at birds, maybe you want to go snorkeling. Well, you take a tiny plane to the remote island of Ofu. Here you'll find some perfect beaches, great beautiful backgrounds, and some coral gardens just bursting with color and fish. I mean, tropical fish, bright colors. It's be a sight to see, something I would love to go do. There's over 250 coral types here, and with almost literally nobody in sight to bother you while you're on this beautiful beach. And not to mention that this is a great place for night sky viewing. I mean, look at these. This is beautiful. I would love to go here just to see that. And also, to go snorkeling in the sea. Well, actually, I want to do all of this. I want to see the whole thing. This is already number 1 on my bucket list right here. But when's the best time to go here? Well, the best time to go here would be May through October, which is what they consider the dry season. It has calmer seas, but fair warning, even their dry season's still quite humid compared to the normal 48 states. So their dry is not our dry. Keep that in consideration if you're coming from the 48 states. And moving on to number 2, we have Channel Island National Park in California. This one's just off the coast of California, but it's worlds away from the California vibe, These are 5 rugged islands that are like stepping back into time, and yet fewer than 340,000 people visit each year. It has no restaurants, there's no paved roads. It's just completely unspoiled nature, stunning sea cliffs, and epic marine life everywhere. Wherever you want to look, you have marine life and beautiful scenery. I love this place. And what are some of the things you can see and do here? Well, you can go and meet their mini foxes. I love these things. I really want one of these things. Look at this thing. This thing is great. I just need a domesticated version of one. These are tiny little island foxes that are about the size of a house cat, and they're unique to these islands. They were once endangered, but now they're thriving thanks to restoration efforts. And yes, I definitely need one of these foxes. I want one so bad. Look at that thing. It's great. Just domesticate one and I'll be so happy. Just give it to me. But maybe you want to get off the island. Well, go ahead and take a kayak tour. You can paddle your way into the Painted Cave, one of the largest sea caves on Earth. Inside, the sunlight dances on the wet stone and echoes and bounces like a natural cathedral. This would also be a great way to see the sea lions in that too, up close. But maybe you want to get out of the kayak and really get your feet wet. Well, you can go snorkeling in the kelp jungle. You can slip beneath the waves into a towering kelp forest, full of sea lions with bright Garibaldi fish, and if you're lucky, you might even see some curious harbor seals. And this place is, compared to the Great Barrier Reef, just calmer. So if you've ever been there, then you'll know what this place is similar to. I have not been to either. Again, this is one of those places on my bucket list, like the first one. My bucket list is getting big fast. I already got 2. Again, really beautiful sunsets here. This is one of those places that you really need to go see the sunsets. And when's the best time to come here? Well, that would be between April and May, when the flowers are blooming and the weather is a little bit more mellow. Between August and October is the best underwater visibility time, so depending on what you're going for, depends on when you want to go. Keep that in mind when making your plans or considering visiting. And moving on to number 3, we have the Virgin Islands National Park in the U.S. Virgin Islands. Usually Trunk Bay gets all the Instagram love, but most of St. John Island is untouched parkland, hiding trails, ruins, and secret beaches. Covering over half this island, the park combines sugar white sands, lush jungle, and a rich cultural history which was shaped by both the native people and European colonists. The park does welcome around 340,000 visitors a year. And what are the things that you can do here? Well, you can swim the coral trail. This is more like an aquarium that you get to basically swim through or float through, however you want to look at it. You go snorkeling in Trunk Bay. It's an underwater marked trail where there's plaques that just tell you information about the coral and the tropical fish. It's literally just an aquarium that you get to float through or swim through, like I said. It's great. I like the idea. And this next one's going to be for the history buffs. You can explore a sugar plantation ruin like Annaberg and Cinnamon Bay. Here you can find crumbling stone mills and mysterious archways wrapped with vines. Now, if you like the ruins, this is not the best set of ruins. There's another set that's coming up here in a little bit that's I believe is much better than this. But this place has something that the other place doesn't that's coming. A jungle hike to petroglyphs. Particularly I hope I'm saying this right, the Taoni petroglyphs. Here you can take the trail and discover ancient stone carvings left by the island's first people. And I just love the way this place looks. I mean, look at that. Who would not want to come here and just carve something and say, okay, this is I'm decorating it for all eternity? Of course they did. I mean, look at this place. This place is beautiful. Look at that waterfall. I love it. And the petroglyphs are just amazing. I'd love to know what they actually mean, though. I tried looking it up. Again, I can't find that. I don't know what to actually call it to look it up, to know which one. And every time I did find one that showed me what a petroglyph looked like, it was the one I didn't have a picture of. And I can't use that picture because it was copyrighted. Yeah, that's where I was. And what's the best time to visit the Virgin Island National Park? Well, that would be between December and April, which is the dry and sunny season. Or you could also come between May through June, and also November, which has fewer tourists. And moving on to number 4, we have Isle Royale National Park in Michigan. This is a remote island in Lake Superior where there's no cars, no roads, just pure wilderness. And barely 28,000 people make this trip each year to see this place. The island is only accessible by boat or seaplane, which is probably why it only sees 28,000 people a year. But it's a great place for serious hikers, canoeists, and anyone craving an off-grid experience. But once you get here, what do? Well, you can watch the wolves and moose in action. This is one of the largest running predator and prey studies in the world. You can spot moose browsing along the shoreline, or listen to a distant wolf howl and get the crap scared out of you. If that's not enough, then you can choose from 165 miles worth of hiking trails and glide through some misty inlets where you might not see a soul for a day or two, which might actually be nice if that's what you're trying to get. But maybe you're looking for something a little bit more exciting. Well, you can always go some cold water shipwreck diving. You can dive into Lake Superior's eerie depths and explore some of the sunken steamers and wooden schooners that are preserved like a time capsule. The water's so cold, nothing really rots. It just it slows it all down to almost nothing. Time stands still down there. Or maybe you want to stay a little dry. Well, then you could always climb the historic lighthouse for some lake views. Now, honestly, out of everything, this shipwreck sounds like the most fun to me. Now, I'm not saying anything against the rest, but shipwrecks underwater and they're preserved because of that would be fun. That would be great. And what's the best time to come? Well, in my opinion, the best time to come would be between July and August. It's a little bit warmer temperatures. You are in Michigan. And if you go in June, though, you're definitely going to want to bring some bug spray. Just saying. Some people like to go in June. I'm one of those people. But if you show up in June, make sure you bring some bug spray. And moving on to number 5, we have Dry Tortugas National Park in Florida. This island's about 70 miles west of Key West itself. This park is mostly water and is crowned by a massive 19th century fort made of 16 million bricks. This is one of the most remote national parks that is only accessible by ferry or seaplane, and it's a history lover and snorkel paradise, all wrapped up in one. And this park draws only approximately 84,000 a year. That's it. So if you want some seclusion, get away from everybody with some history and some snorkeling, this is the place right here. But what are you going to do when you get here? Well, obviously, you get to explore Fort Jefferson. You can wander around this massive fort, complete with cannon ports and prison cells. And just a little fun fact for you history buffs, Dr. Samuel Mudd was locked up here after Lincoln's assassination, in case you didn't know that. Just a little fun fact for all the history buffs. And beyond the fort, they also have a lot of wildlife here, starting with sea turtles and birds. The springtime brings about 80,000 sooty terns to nest on the nearby Bush Key, and sea turtles come ashore to lay their eggs here. But maybe you're not into that. Maybe you want to get down with the fish. Well, this is one of the best places in the United States to go snorkeling, especially around the moat wall. You can drop right into the turquoise waters with colorful tropical fish, and coral just steps away from the brick walls. And honestly, this is probably my absolute favorite one. I am so gonna camp here one time. Again, another bucket list right here. I think it's number 3 we're up to for bucket lists. Yeah. This place, the night sky here with no lights and able to explore a historical fort I'm basically on a deserted tropical island. That is perfect. Who wouldn't want that? What's the best time for you or I to come here and do that camping trip on a tropical deserted island with a historical fort? That would be between March and May, when there's clear seas and peak birding. And if you guys are enjoying this video, please like and subscribe and click the notification bell and keep up with all our latest videos. Now back to the show. At number 6, we have Biscayne National Park in Florida. Just outside of Miami, this park is 95% water, and under the water hides a treasure trove that most visitors totally miss, with shipwrecks to coral reefs to mangroves and a slice of Florida history. It's a wild world of hiding in plain sight that most people will miss. And this park only sees approximately 570,000 visitors a year. But what are some unique things that these 570,000 visitors got to do? Well, that would be explore a string of historic shipwrecks from the 1800s. You could snorkel or scuba dive your way through coral-covered hulls just teeming with marine life. But maybe you want to stay a little more dry. I get that. Maybe you ain't got a scuba license like myself. You can go kayaking through the mangroves, a little bit more calmer. Very nice. Get to see the mangroves. There's not many of these throughout the U.S. There's a handful, mainly in Florida as far as I know. I could be wrong on that. Don't quote me. But not that many. This is one of the more beautiful ones. And here you can spot some manatees and possibly even some baby shark darting by. And maybe you want to see everything from up high. Well, then you can go and take a look at the Boca Chica Lighthouse. It was built in the 1930s. It was built just for show and the epic views. That's it. But it's a beautiful sight, and you can see Miami off in the distance from here. But when's the best time to come here? Well, that would be between December and April, when it's the dry season and the best water clarity if you decide to go scuba diving or snorkeling. I'd like to go see that mangrove maze. What do you guys think? Would you go do that? Would you go down to any of these shipwreck dives? Let me know down in the comments below. I'm curious. Number 7, we have Glacier Bay National Park and Preserve in Alaska. This is part of a 25 million acre UNESCO biosphere. This is a truly massive park, and it is all about epic glacier views and thriving marine life. And most people do arrive by boat. And here at Glacier Bay, they only get about 700,000 visitors a year. Well, what is there to do here, and how do you do it? Well, yes, you can go look at the glaciers, but the best way to go do it would be taking a cruise past the glaciers and watch them crack, crumble, and crash into the bay. And maybe after that, you check out another cruise, go see some humpback whales or orcas. And of course, you have other wildlife like puffins, bald eagles, mountain goats, and even the occasional bear. I mean, this place is truly unbelievable with the whales and the ice glaciers and the wildlife. And then on top of everything, you also have probably the best sunsets and night skies imaginable. I mean, look at that. No place in the world can you see that pretty much every night. All that being said, this is a very cold place, which is what stops me. unless you go during the best times, which would be between late May and early September, when it's the peak boat tour and wildlife season. And moving on to number 8, we have, I'm not sure how to say this one, Kenai Fjords National Park in Alaska. I don't know. I have it on screen because I cannot say that. I apologize. If anybody actually knows how to say that, congratulations. I have no idea. But there it is. But this place is beautiful. This is a slice of Alaska where ice and ocean and wildlife all collide into one spot. This is a great place to watch the glacier spill into the ocean. It's sad, but a great place to watch it. And the park welcomes approximately 390,000 visitors a year. But what do these 390,000 visitors get to do? Well, they get to walk on a glacier. Yes, they get to hike the glacier. There's trails that are marked, so you don't have to worry about it. You don't have to worry about it breaking through or anything. But you actually get to walk on a glacier, which I think is one of the most amazing things in the world. And of course, you have your wildlife. You can take a wildlife boat tour into Isle Bay. I'm not sure how to say that. It's on screen as well. For front row views of glaciers. And keep your camera ready for some otters, puffins, and porpoises, and any other wildlife you may see, because there's going to be quite a bit along this area. And of course, you have the Icefield Summit views. And maybe the first glacier walk wasn't enough. Well, here you can take a little bit more challenging hike. For a hike of the Harding Icefield Trail, once you reach the top, it's literally just you and a sea of ice stretching beyond the horizon. You cannot see nothing but ice. It's beautiful, scary, but beautiful. And yes, this is a bucket list item for me, walking on the glacier. I don't know about the whole summit thing. Maybe not the Icefield Summit. I'm not sure about, going all the way up to the ice field and hiking the Harding Icefield Trail. Maybe not that one. Wildlife cruise, walking on the glacier, definitely. That's like a once-in-a-lifetime experience. And besides, we may be the last generation to get to do this. So we got to have a story to tell our grandkids, right? But when's the best time to grab that story for the grandkids? Well, that would be between June and August, when it's the best time for cruise access and hiking conditions. And moving on to number 9, we have Cumberland Island National Seashore in Georgia. This is Georgia's largest wildlife barrier island, accessible only by boat, and preserves everything from the mansion ruins to wild horses, which I think is great. And there are no cars, and limited visitors are allowed daily. So this one you're going to need to be careful on. This is not going to be one of those things where you just show up. It's like stepping back into a time and place that nature reigns supreme. Only 60,000 visitors annually get to visit here. But what all can you do here? Well, you get to watch the wild horses roam. They're shaggy feral horses that wander the dunes and forest trails like they own the damn place. Because you know what? They do. Honestly, they do. And it's great. You get to watch them in their own natural habitat, doing what they want, how they want. You can also explore the historic mansion and walk through the ghostly remains of the Dungeness mansion, or you can tour the preserved Plum Orchard Estate. Being here must be like stepping into a Southern Gothic novel. And once you're done with all of that, you can sleep on the sand at night. You can camp in the backcountry or right on the beach, which is what I personally do, right on the beach. You can have the waves crashing at your feet with a billion stars overhead. But when is the best time to do that? Sleeping on the beach thing? Well, that would be between March and May, and also September through November, where you have cooler weather and a lot less bugs. And trust me, this is Georgia, they get the bugs out there. So you definitely don't want to go and say June, July, or even August. June, July, and August, you don't want to go. Too buggy. And finally, last but not least, number 10. Buck Island Reef National Monument, U.S. Virgin Islands. This one is just off of St. Croix's northeast shore. This is a tiny island that protects some of the Caribbean's most vibrant coral reefs and nesting beaches. It's one of the few fully protected marine ecosystems in the U.S. and a paradise for snorkelers and ecotourists alike. And this monument welcomes around only 50,000 visitors yearly. And again, some of the most unique things that you can do here is snorkel among the coral reefs. This is some of the most beautiful coral reefs you will find. You can follow the marked trail beneath the waves. It's great, educational, and insanely beautiful. You can check out the Elkhorn Coral Underwater Forest, filled with tropical reef fish, rays, and even sea turtles that swim by, not even thinking about you. And of course, there's shipwrecks. Who doesn't love a good shipwreck? And on top of all that, you have your wildlife on land and sea. You have nesting seabirds, while green and hawkbill turtles leave tracks in the sand from nesting. But when's the best time to go and see all this? Well, the best time will be between April through August. You have calm seas, the best visibility, and you can only get a tour of this place through National Park Service approved boat tours. So make sure if you're going to do a boat tour, that's National Park Service approved. Otherwise, it ain't probably legit. Just a little FYI there. So what do you guys think? I think some of these places are great. I probably got about 4 or 5 new places on my bucket list. I love some of these places. Probably my number 1 is Dry Tortuga. 1, it's the easiest for me to get to, and 2, I just really love history and the fact that it's on a tropical island basically in the middle of nowhere. What do you guys think? What was your favorite spot? Let me know down in the comments below. If you liked the video, please like and subscribe. Check out the website, americantravel.fun, and feel free to check out our tools, blog, and all the other resources that we have at our website at americantravel.fun. And as always, thank you for watching. Until next time, have fun, guys.